We live in a twilight world and there are no friends at dusk. I hope everyone is doing well. I know that things may appear to be looking quite bleak if we believe what the media is presenting to us. So this is going to be a kind of follow-up to a video I did, I don't know, a week ago or so called, about covert lockdowns and are we in a covert lockdown? Because someone just messaged me on Twitter, asking me like what the hell is going on with the airlines and why are they crashing the airlines? Economically crashing them, obviously not physically crashing planes, but they're deliberately making flying a nightmare. Now, yeah, again, I don't know if that's real or not because I flew to Ukraine fine. Sorry, to Poland to get into Ukraine. I flew fine. I had no issues whatsoever. In fact, I've never felt flying on a plane has been so easy as it has been with my trips to Ukraine. So, yeah, again, is it real? Is it illusion warfare? You have to consider illusion warfare all the time. Most of these things are what I call illusion warfare, yeah? They're presenting the illusion of something so that you or the masses manifest a real human response. So all we've got to do is present the illusion that planes are not taking off and planes are not going anywhere. People will not go on the planes. People will not go on the airports. Now they're going to manifest the illusion into reality. Illusion, reaction, solution. But either way, the real question is, why is the media presenting all of this chaos to the masses? So we've got the airline havoc. Over here in the UK, the railway services, mainly in London, are having strikes, which is going to be causing massive problems. That always fucks up London big time. I was born in London, I grew up in London, and yeah, man, even something as little as one train station being shut down from an IRA or whatever terrorist bomb scare causes massive problems and a shockwave throughout the whole city. I've also found out in France they're having heat wave shutdowns, which yet again is just a lockdown. Since when is that a thing? Heat wave shutdowns. It does very much seem to me like they don't want the masses going out. Why that is, I don't know. We can only speculate. I think some things are way beyond us when it comes to knowing what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm experiencing myself with like the cost of fuel is ridiculous. Where even just like something that was very simple for me, like going down to the beach and sunbathing all day, is something now I have to like kind of weigh up, like, can I afford it? So even me, Mr., revealer of illusion, is actually having to deal with the, economic manipulations. Even I can't escape this. So yeah. And this is how it works, isn't it? It's forced participation from economic manipulation. It works, man. No matter how immune you might think you are from all of these psyops, at the end of the day, when they make something as simple as getting fuel a problem, you have to participate along. Guess what? We're now going along with the masses and we can't afford to go to the beach. So yeah. But yeah, back to the guy on Twitter who asked me, like, what do I think it is? Who knows, man? Who knows? I do believe it has something to do with the sky clock above us and the sunshine. There's something to that name, coronavirus, the corona being the rays of the sunshine. Now, one theory I did play around with a lot and I feel strongly about, although I can never nail it down is that in 2020 and 2021, they didn't want us going out in the sunshine because we were going to get that DNA upgrade from the sunshine. Whether that is now continuing into 2022, possibly, very possibly. Because the whole scamdemic, there's a deadly virus nonsense ain't going to fly anymore. Even the average NPC and normie moron can see it's all bullshit. So it ain't going to fly anymore. So this is probably their plan B. You know, the illusion warfare tactic of a conflict in Ukraine, shutting down flights, economically blackmailing people and economically kind of holding people back. Yeah, it's another way of locking people down. But I don't know, man. People are still going to find a way out into the sunshine. Like myself, if worse comes to it, I will just cycle. I'll pack a tent and I'll just cycle to the beach and spend a good 3 days down there because it'd probably take me a whole day to cycle there. I'll find a way. So this idea, if they think they're going to keep people out of the sunshine, I don't know. It's wishful thinking. This is a kind of discussion we need to have a round table on. We need to have a lot of, deep thinkers, philosophers, people that can really, really stretch the limits of imagination to try and edge towards what we think is going on. I would love to do that. But, yeah, I think it's important not to live in doom and live in fear because it's pointless. Being worried and stressed isn't going to help your situation. We're due an economic collapse anyway. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what all the doom mongers say. You've got to remember, all the people now that are selling doom about an economic collapse are the same people that tried to tell us that FEMA was going to lock us up in FEMA camps and forcibly inject us with the, scamdemic tonic, should we call it. So, one of the big things I learned in 2020 was that actually the vast majority of the conspiracy theory crowd are equally as stupid and moronic as the normies. Sorry, but it's true. There's a lot of what we call the baby truthers out there that just constantly live in this fear state, thinking that the government's coming to get us. Ain't gonna happen. You see, what these low-ranking Masons, and I mean real Masons, I'm not talking about idiots that turn up to the local lodge, they're cosplay Masons. The real Masons, the whole reason they set up all of these systems is because they can't really survive in the law of the jungle. If it goes back to the law of the jungle, it's the strongest survive, and that's it, mate. And let's be honest, the women are going to want to breed with the biggest, strongest Viking they can. And all these little weasels that we call Masons ain't going to have a chance. The reason they set up all of these systems and created this kind of way of life is it gives them a fighting chance. It kind of, if you look at our society now, it makes the Viking look like an idiot, while they thrive in a false reality of bank account and a big house being the compensation for them not being a Viking. You know what I mean? Another theory is this, okay? What if these people running the simulation are neither good nor bad, but whatever they have to defend and protect the masses? And maybe there is a lot of radiation coming from the sun right now. Maybe there's a solar flare that's about to hit us, and they want to keep every human that's in the simulation safe. I don't rule that out. I know it's hard for some people to believe, but I don't rule out the people we think are bad guys are actually good guys doing what they feel is right, you know, to protect the simulation. It's possible, man. It's possible. I want to actually do a lot more work on simulation theory at some point when I got the time. Of course, time is going ridiculously fast right now, right? That's the whole topic in itself. But the simulation theory, I mean, it's good to understand the simulation theory and kind of remind yourself like what it's about. I mean, of course, there's the quantum mechanic science version of the simulation theory, but there's also the philosophy side of it, where people have sat around and they spoke about like the path that we're on and where it will lead to. So it's getting to a point now where we don't need men around anymore. We don't live in the jungle anymore, so why do we need big men around that are going to defend us, defend the village, right? So people like myself and men out there, we're obsolete. We're old technology. We're getting pushed out. Eventually, they're not going to need women either, because it's going to be easier to create a baby in a laboratory or even a factory, more safer, more effective, more efficient. So they're not going to need women. There's going to be no men or women. There's going to be no sex. There's going to be no love. We're just going to be this thing, you know, and eventually people are either via chemicals or via the metaverse, they're going to avoid all feeling. They're going to escape from the real world and exist in either a really, you know, fake digital world, even faker than what we're in right now, to a point where there's just nothing left. Things are so perfect and well run that there's no feelings anymore. So this is where the simulation theory idea plays in. Because there is no feeling in the world anymore, these beings, whatever they are going to want to go into a simulation where they can actually experience something. When all that's left is the human experience, which they're not getting from their current world, so they're going to make a simulation where they truly get to experience everything. Heartbreak, pain, suffering, happiness, joy, love. And that's kind of what we're all going through right now. Now, what I would add to that is I imagine for this simulation to be real authentic, they have to wipe your memory of where you really are and have to start you at birth in this simulation so you get the real feelings there from birth all the way to death, from cradle to grave. But yeah, I'll do some more videos later on about the simulation theory in a more in-depth. That was a very brief, off the top of my head, recap of how philosophy gets to the idea of a simulation. But it kind of checks out, you know, because we are getting all the emotions you can think of. We're getting here. Because I tell you one thing, people think they want a utopia. Utopia and hell are one of the same thing. You will not enjoy a utopia, I promise you. I'm not going to enjoy a utopia. I'd be the first one to burn it down. I don't want to wake up in a world where everything is done for me and there's no challenge and there's just nothingness where we're all just so happy. That sounds awful. We don't want that. And if we did have a utopia, yes, like I just said, I'd burn it down, or someone will make a simulation where I can go and experience something, some kind of humanness of this universe, you know? We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.